Anin, Jimagnish Indigenous Cause. I thought this week let's talk a little bit about adulting and recovery. And maybe what does that look like to you? At some point something made you decide to go into recovery. Maybe it was your health, maybe it was getting your kids back. That would definitely cover you know adulting. Um, but for most of us, our addiction has caused some kind of instability in our lives. And maybe that just had to do with housing and things like that. I know at certain points in my addiction that all my funds went towards feeding my addiction. Um, and then kind of later, I had like always made sure the rent would get paid, but I would make sure that a certain amount of money, a good amount of money, was allotted towards drugs and alcohol. So now that we don't have those expenses anymore, um, you might want to, if you had problems with stability in your housing, if you've chosen to um, join the workforce again or for the first time, um, get paid every 2 weeks. And something that I did back when I wasn't making a lot of money and that my rent was like taking up one entire check almost, probably a good idea is, if you can, make an arrangement with your landlord to don't be behind on rent, because it's something happens it's really hard to make up. Ask your landlord, can I pay, I got this check, and I pay you half my rent early, and then pay the other half on when it gets close to the first. I did that. That works out really well. And hopefully your landlord will be open to something like that. If you're responsible enough for a while there, I would get a money order for for half my rent. Now I'm a little luckier where I don't have to worry about doing that. Um, other things, upgrade, what you're eating, because I know food's expensive and it's hard to eat good, but things like mac and cheese, hot dogs, ramen, those aren't food. And they might be filling, but they're not good for you. And I realize some people are at a pinch with hunger. Do your best to make healthy choices eating. um Another thing I've seen people do, once you do get some money in your pocket, it's not this big race to see how fast you can spend it. It's nice to be able to have a little bit of a buffer. It took me years to be able to accomplish that, so I'm not going to fault anybody for not being able to do it. But once you're in recovery, you've got extra money because you're not pouring into the party expenses anymore. And and it's a good time to think about how you want to be with that money. One of the worst things you can do, I know you want to help out friends. Friends are always hitting you up and hardly ever paying you back. Um, Now I don't have too many people around me like that. Most of my friends are good enough off where they can take care of themselves. Um, but just tell people, man, I barely got enough money for, me and what I'm doing at the moment. And they're just going to have to be happy with that. And because people have good intentions of paying you back, but they don't. Don't put yourself in a bad position for somebody that's not going to pay you back. Um, other things, I kind of learned the hard way was, once you do get into housing, people are going to want to move in with you. It's going to sound good. Don't do that either, because you had to work for what you got. Other people are just looking, and you had to work hard for it. Other people are just looking for, you know, an easy way in. And if you got to help somebody out like that, put a time limit on it and stick to it. Say, I can help you out for 2 weeks. Um, because money is a tough thing, and the economy isn't getting any better. So, how you handle your money is like, a big thing. And like I'm saying, you know, on your path to recovery, you should have, a little extra cash in your pocket. And I guess all I'm saying is, think wisely on how you want to use that. Um, and what are your priorities? So, I don't have, I like I said, I've not always been the best with money, so I can't really fault anybody for not being good with money, but it's just some food for thought, because, and I picked this subject because I had, a few bills going out, and nobody likes paying bills, man, but it needs to be done. And that's adulting, and we all have to do it. If you got kids, you really got to do it. So, I guess, till next time. Gigawabman.